The shadow that climbs backwards, the haunting of Shantipur Hall. My name is Afsana Rahman, and I'm 22 years old, a final year sociology student at the University of Dhaka. I've always prided myself on being rational, analytical, someone who dissects the world through data and human behavior, not superstitions or ghost stories. I don't believe in ghosts or the supernatural. At least I didn't before all this started. Life at Shantipur Hall, the women's dormitory on the outskirts of Dhaka, Bangladesh, was predictable. Late-night study sessions, black tea to fight off sleep, and the chronic insomnia that's plagued me since high school. The building itself is a relic from the 1986 floors of grey concrete. A single central staircase winding up like a spine, and flickering fluorescent lights that hum like distant whispers. The air always carries that musty dampness, mixed with the metallic temps of overheating bulbs. Security cameras were added a few years back after some unreported disappearance that no one talks about openly, just hushed rumors over dinner in the common room. I thought it was all urban legend fodder until it began happening to me. It started innocently enough. About a week ago, on October 15th, I was grinding through a term paper on social behaviors in collective female spaces, pulling an all-nighter as usual. Insomnia has its perks. I volunteered to help Mrs. Halima, the 58-year-old dormitory manager who's been here since the place opened, with checking the security footage. She's not tech-savvy with her silver-streaked hair and weary eyes that always seem to dodge direct questions. "Girl, help me with the cameras, but don't stay up too late," she'd say, switching off the monitors before 2 a.m. every night. I figured she was just saving electricity or eager for bed. That night, I sat alone in the small management room. The screen split into grids, showing hallways and the central staircase. The backup power system kicks in around 2:11 to 2:19 a.m., causing the corridor lights to flicker erratically like the building is gasping for breath. The cameras record video only during that window. No audio, some old glitch no one's fixed. I was sipping cold tea when I spotted it on the staircase feed, from floor 1 to 2. A long, elongated shadow stretched across the wall, like the silhouette of a tall figure climbing the stairs. But there was no one there, no body casting it. The lights from above should have made any shadow fall downward, but this one stretched upward, defying physics. I blinked hard, blaming fatigue. The footage played slowly. The shadow moved upward, but its tail dragged downward, as if being pulled back. It paused at the landing on floor 2, then dissolved when the light stabilized at 2:19. I rewound it 3 times, checking other angles and nothing. Maybe a lighting glitch, I told myself. My heart raced a bit faster than usual. I shut down the system and headed back to my room on floor 4. Room 412, where I live alone since my roommate transferred out last semester. Sleep didn't come easy that night. The next morning, I mentioned it to Nabila Chaudhuri. She's a 19-year-old freshman in room 305, the only one with a direct window view of the staircase. Sweet kid, short black hair, but prone to anxiety and local folklore. We chat in the hallways often. She's like a little sister. "Sister Afsana, I heard footsteps last night," she said, her eyes wide, like someone climbing up, but the echo was backward, like coming down instead. I laughed it off. "You're tired, Nabila. Old building, weird acoustics. I'll check again tonight." But the shadow lingered in my mind. As a sociology student, I started a journal. October 16th. First footage anomaly. Shadow on floors 1 to 2. Reverse motion. Possible technical error. That second night, I was prepared, notebook open. Timestamps noted. At 2:11, the flicker started. There it was again. On floors 2 to 3. Clearer this time. The shadow detached slightly from the wall, moving independently. No light source to justify it. Slow, deliberate, like dragging something unseen. No face, no limbs, just a distorted black streak stretching backward. I cross-checked the hallway cams, empty. Nabila's mentioned footsteps, I couldn't hear them without audio, but the silence on screen felt oppressive. The metallic smell intensified, mingling with the mold. I noted, exact time 2:11 to 2:19. No corresponding source. Nabila reports reverse echoes. Back in my room, I lay awake. Could someone be pricking? But it's an all-girls dorm. Doors locked at 10 p.m. Cameras covering everything. Unlikely. In the morning, I cornered Mrs. Halima in the lobby while she mopped. Sweat beaded on her forehead. "Auntie, the footage last night was odd. Know anything about light glitches?" She glanced at me, eyes evasive. "Child, don't watch so late. This place is old. Some things are better left alone." She shook her head and kept mopping. I noticed she always kills the monitors before 2 a.m. like she's avoiding something. She's told stories about unused rooms on certain floors, never at full capacity. Why? Just how it is, dear, don't pry. Her voice trembled slightly. Local superstitions crept in Bangladeshi folklore about lingering shadows of the dead, souls stuck in familiar spaces. They say if too many people ascend without descending, the shadows learn to return on their own. Ridiculous, I thought. But this dorm, hundreds of girls over decades, some perhaps never truly leaving. That old disappearance, related. Nabila added more. Sister, I dreamed of the shadow last night. It climbed, but I walked downward, woke up sweating, feeling watched from the window. Her eyes were red-rimmed. I comforted her. Just a dream. Tonight, we'll watch together. But unease grew, mass hysteria, self-suggestion. I invited her for the third night, as a witness. We huddled in the management room, her hand gripping mine. At 2:11, the shadow on floors 3, 2, 4 closer to my room. It lingered at the landing, upper part extending like a head turning toward the camera. Those shadows have no heads. Chills ran down my spine. Footage crisp, but zooming distorted pixels like interference. Nabila whispered, "See, it's searching." We watched until 2:19, shadow fading. Outside, we climbed the stairs, dead silence, just the hum. At the 4th floor landing, nothing, but the metallic burn was stronger, like scorched wires. No sleep for me. I pondered themes, erased identities in female collectives. We lived together but isolated, invisible pressures, unrecorded presences. Journal entry, October 18th, third night footage, shadow advancing, floors 3 to 4, pauses at landing, faces camera, analysis, no tech fault, cables fine. Nabila claims visual sighting from 305. She said that morning, I looked out at 2 a.m., saw it real, not human, stretching like it's struggling. I half believed now, but pressed on. Asked other girls on floor 3, nothing. Just us. 4th night, Nabila with me, door locked, as if that helped. 2:11, shadow, on 4 to 5. Faster, bass dragging hard backward, paused, facing Nabila, cried softly. I hear reversed footsteps, sister, like calling me, goosebumps. Footage ended, back to rooms. Morning, she dreamed descending stairs, shadow trailing. Woke, but it felt present. Mrs. Halima avoided me. In the kitchen, I pushed. You know about the shadow, don't you? The old disappearance. She sighed, sat on a rickety chair. Girl, this hall has lingering shadows. Girls who ascended but never descended, accidents, illnesses, worse, unrecorded. They're there but unseen. Stop watching. Her words hinted at hidden strains, forgotten women, identities dissolved in collective space. I was blurring reality each night. Shadow 1 floor higher, approaching. 5th night, Nabila trembling beside me. 2:11, shadow 5 to 6. Detached fully from wall, autonomous entity, lingered, pixels scrambling. Nabila, it's learning to return, like folklore. Morning, she dreamed reverse climb, woke to damp footprints on 305's floor. I saw them, small, wet, no owners, mold metal scent. Journal, October 20th, 5th footage, independent shadow, footprints in Nabila's room. Analysis, camera hack, logs clean. 6th night, alone Nabila, too scared, at a friend's. 2:11, shadow at 6th top floor, slow ascent, base yanked down, paused, facing, felt watched, through screen. Reversed footsteps echoed in my mind. Dreamed shadow dragging me down, woke panicked. Morning, forced Mrs. Halima, those shadows are from lost girls. 1985 incident, girl on 4 fell stairs, no body found. Her shadow climbs back, seeking, she wept. I vowed to watch the 7th night, notebook shaking. 2:11, shadow on 4 not, climbing, stationary at landing, didn't fade at 2:19. At 2:13, on the once clean wall, backward script, I have reached your place. I fled to my room, no shadow, no writing, but since, reverse footsteps haunt my nights. Nabila moved out, Mrs. Halima retired, the hall remains, lights flickering. I question reality. What is that shadow? Am I becoming one? I don't know, and the obsession lingers.